Welcome to the combined section of CIS/TSM 603 course. This is a graduate online course devoted to project management in the IT/telecommunications context. My name is Dr. Vlad Krotov and I'll be instructor for this course. Now, for communication purposes, you can refer to me as Dr. Vlad. This video is meant to give you a structural overview of this course so that you know all the main parts of this course in Canvas and how to proceed through those parts. Now, when it comes to the structure of this course, I think for most of the parts it's fairly linear. You have to proceed through all those items one by one. Right now you're here. This link points to this overview video on YouTube, so if you ever want to revisit this video, then click here and you'll be able to see this video in your browser. I would suggest that you start somewhere here, that you start with the discussion section. So this is where we're going to keep our communications related to general course questions. And also, I'm asking you to start here in the introductions. So what you need to do, you need to open the introductions section and just please introduce yourself. So create a discussion thread where you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your educational and professional background. You're also free to welcome other people, to ask them something, to comment on their introductory posts. So yeah, let's start here by introducing ourselves. Now, I'm not going to introduce myself in this discussion thread because I created a separate presentation where you can read a little bit about my bio, about my background, so I'll talk about it later. Now, if you ever have any general course questions, meaning questions that are not related to any particular chapter content, let's say some link in this course is not working, or let's say you have questions about the upcoming midterm exam or something like that, then I suggest you post your questions here. Now, as I put a note here, your online participation accounts to 10% of your final grade, so please make sure you actively participate in this course. This involves both posting questions but also answering other people's questions, so feel free to answer somebody's question if I'm not available. If you feel that you know the answer to this question, feel free to comment on anything. Both quantity and quality and regularity will be taken into consideration when I assign this grade. So please always check this general course discussion section. Okay, so you need to start, after you're done with introductions, you need to go to the introduction to the course section or module. Make sure you read the syllabus. I would say, as you probably well know, that syllabus is probably the most important document of this course. In a way, this is a contract between your instructor and you. You need to read every section of the syllabus so that you know what are the course expectations. It's like a binding document where I'm saying this is what this is what I'm planning to do, this is how I teach this course, those are the expectations, and you should be familiar with those expectations from day one. Now, you can also read a little bit about my bio. It's optional. You don't as long as you know my name, you don't have to know anything about me. But if you want to know more about my background, about my research, then you can look at those PowerPoints here. Now, also, I'm requiring you, or I'm asking you to read the following 3 papers or reports. There will be some questions about the so-called chaos report by the Standish Group. This is a classic report that everybody in the project management field knows about. So there may be some questions about chaos reports. There have been several reports, but this is the first one, the one that people refer to when they say the chaos report. So make sure you read the chaos report. If you have time, read about some key issues in IT project management and also some key political issues in project management as shown in this particular case. I would say something like this. This is a mandatory reading. Those 2 are optional. Okay, so it's up to you if you read them or not. But I highly encourage you to read all 3 papers because it will give you a good introduction to the field of project management. Now, also, please visit our YouTube channel. This is where I keep all of my videos. So if you click on this link, the channel will open. There's like a total of 60 something videos. Most of the videos are fairly short, just a few minutes, but some of them are longer, like 20-30 minutes, depending on the chapter, on the content of the chapter. And once you're done with all those introductory materials, you need to take this quiz to show me that you have a basic understanding of this course content and requirements. It has to be done by July 7th. That's the deadline. You will see that this quiz, just like any other quiz, gives you 2 attempts. So you take it once, you see your score, and then if you see that you missed some questions, you can go back and retake this quiz. So each quiz has 2 attempts, and only the highest score counts. So each quiz has a deadline, and after your last attempt you can see the correct answers. So my quizzes are more like self-study, self-exploration tools that kind of tell you what you know, what you don't know, where you're at. It also forces you to keep up with the required readings, with the required presentations. You have a total, as the syllabus says, you have a total of 12 quizzes in this course, 1 quiz for each of the 10 chapters that we will cover, 1 course over this introductory module, and 1 quiz over the Scrum module. So you need to complete all those items before July 7th. Then, somewhere in the very beginning, you need to familiarize yourself with your individual project. This project accounts for 30% of your final grade, so it's a serious component, significant component. If you ever have questions about your individual project, which involves creating a detailed project management plan, post your questions here in this discussion thread. When you post your question to discussion thread, I'll do my best to answer it within 1 day, maybe 2 days. But sometimes, I skip, it's just overlook some questions. So if you feel that quite a bit of time has passed since you posted your question, then feel free to send me an email to remind me about this question. But in general, I ask you to limit email use to personal issues, something that you don't want other people to see. So if it's something related to your personal circumstances, then send me an email. But if it's something related to the course, please post it here. And then also open this, even if you don't have any questions, open this thread to see what other people are saying. So maybe you do have a question, you just haven't realized this yet. So I encourage you to visit this discussion thread from time to time. Now the main project assignment is here. So when you click on this link, you'll see this document. Open this document. This document is the template that I'm asking you to use for this project. And also it gives you a detailed overview of all the sections. So this is like a general overview of what needs to be done. And here you have those level 1 and level 2 and 3 headings. And in square brackets, I give you a description of each section, what needs to be done in each section. So once you're done, of course, you need to delete all those materials in square brackets. Okay. So read this document. It gives you a fairly detailed overview of the entire project with a lot of specifics. Now, some of those specifics are linked to chapter materials. For example, you won't be able to work on the communication plan until after you cover chapter 10. Okay, so if you're asking me what is communications plan, I'll refer you to chapter 10 of this course. So if you're asking how to create who are stakeholders, or if you're asking me how to create a quality assurance plan, right here. Again, I will refer you back to one of the appropriate chapters. So it has to be done in parallel, but as you can see, it's a big project, so I suggest you start working on it from day 1. I mean, at the minimum, you can start thinking about the organizational problem that you'll be addressing with your project. But you need to understand that this is not this is not somehow related to project implementation. This is like a plan that you will create for implementing a project in this specific organization. So make sure you, from day 1, from week 1, you familiarize yourself with the requirements for your project management plan, and you start working on it. If you're going to wait until the end of this brief summer session to start working on the project management plan, I'm afraid you will fail. You need to be working in parallel. Okay, now when it comes to grading, I will assign you grades. So you have a total of 200 points for your project management plan, and you will be graded based on this rubric. Now I haven't decided how I'm going to implement it yet. Most likely I will just fill it in here, and I will attach it to your submission when I assign you grades, so you can see all those scores, and then your overall score out of 200 points and expressed in percentages, and then my overall general comments about your submission. So go one by one through those items and you will see what's expected. So for example, this item, all the directions for the report have been followed. If I feel that you have followed all the directions, I'll give you 5. If I somewhat agree, I have some doubts, I give you 4. If I disagree, strongly disagree, you violated a lot of the requirements, then I'll give you 1 or 2, something like that. So this is how I'll calculate your total score. So please, again, make sure you familiarize yourself with this rubric from day 1. And when you finalize your submission, make sure you go through all those items and ask yourself, okay, how am I doing here? How am I doing here? So that you know, so that you maximize your grade on this project, which is, once again, a significant component of your final grade. It amounts to 30%. Okay, so familiarize yourself with the project and then start proceeding through those chapter modules one by one. So this is how it works. For every chapter, I have my YouTube video presentation. You click on this link, like for example, if you click on chapter 1 link, it will open chapter 1 overview video. Make sure you don't skip those overview videos, because they tell you, those videos tell you what is the essence of this chapter, and you'll see all those parts related to this chapter. You can also do it like in a pipeline fashion. For example, if you're doing it from a cell phone, you can open chapter 1, and then it will just go one by one, and then you'll go to chapter 2 and so forth. Now, after you're done with the chapter video, what I suggest, you can also read this chapter either before you watch this video or after. Maybe it's better if you do it both. Once again, if you read the chapter, then you watch the video. If you want to review the slides that each chapter video presentation is based upon, is also available for you, so you can always look at the slides to review, to take notes. And then once you're ready, you can take chapter quiz by clicking here. So each quiz has a deadline, so I'm asking you to proceed. Deliberately, I'm not giving you rough deadlines. There's a specific deadline for each quiz, so you can proceed one chapter at a time throughout the duration of this course. And the same for chapters 2, 3, 4, 5, all 10 chapters that we're going to cover. Now, after you complete chapter 5, you should be ready to take online midterm exam. I didn't set any prerequisites or restrictions. I'm just afraid there will be like some technical glitches and people will not be able to proceed at their own pace. If I do that, if I specify requirements, like something like this module will not open up until you click on all those items, I'm just afraid that it will create some misunderstanding, some confusion. But I hope you understand that you shouldn't take online midterm exam until you complete all 5 modules. Okay. By the way, I reserve the right of not giving you any points if you take quiz after the deadline. So if you proceed in a very weird fashion where you wait until the deadline and you take the midterm exam, and then you go back to quizzes, I'm not gonna give you any points if you proceed in that way. You obviously need to complete all 5 modules, all 5 chapters, plus the Scrum module, right? You need to complete all of them before you take midterm exam. Now be careful, midterm exam is timed just like final exam. You have only 60 minutes to complete it. It's comprised of multiple choice and true-false questions, and you only have 1 attempt. You cannot resubmit it, because after you take this midterm exam, you will be able to see the results. So I don't want people to be like trying their luck. So it's only 1 attempt. So only take it when you're ready, when you have enough time to take it, when you have at least 60 minutes in front of you to devote those 60 minutes to the midterm exam. So there's only 1 attempt. And don't press on the submit button, please. So answer all those questions, and only then you can press the submit button. So once you're done with midterm exam, you should be able to proceed with other chapters, chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, each quiz, each chapter has a deadline. And then after you're done with all those chapters, chapters 6 through 10, sorry, there's a mistake. There's no Scrum guide here. Only chapters 6 through 10. You should be able to take your final exam on August 1st. And then once you're done with the final exam, you should be able to finalize your project management plan, which is your individual project. As you can see here, the deadline is August 4th, so you'll have 3 days to finalize. Again, I'm begging you, don't wait until August 1st to start working on a project management plan. You will fail. I'm telling you, that's a big project. You need to be working on it in parallel to your coverage of chapters 1 through 10. And then there are all those additional materials. They're all optionals. Like, for example, I'm mentioning in chapter 9 the so-called Myers-Briggs indicator test. So if you want to, actually I encourage, it's not a part of your grade, but I encourage you to take this test. So this is where it is. When I'm talking about Jeff Sutherland, the creator of Scrum, you can look at you can listen to his TED presentation here. If you want to go deeper into the subject matter of estimating software development costs, you can read those white papers. If you want to learn more about Deming, who is one of the founders of the quality movement, you can watch those videos. And if you want to learn, if you want to see my Excel sheet that I'm using for calculating net present value ROI, it's right here. So all those additional materials that I'll be referencing in my video presentations are available here. But in general, if you just want to explore those materials to learn more about I don't know, Henry Ford and Frederick Taylor, or Juran, all those if you have free time, just explore those materials one by one to see whether there's something of interest to you. So after you're done with the final exam, you should have to submit your individual project, your project management plan by August 4th. This will be the last day of the semester. That's absolutely the last day. I cannot wait anymore. I'll finalize my grades probably on August 5th, because we're required to finalize our grades within 48 hours of the end of the semester. Okay, so make sure you follow those deadlines. And overall, this course is delivered within 5 weeks, but nevertheless, this is a normal 3 credit hour course. So I don't want to scare you. I don't want to be negative, but it is quite intense to deliver a 3 credit hour course within 5 weeks. So you need to be very disciplined. You need to be working diligently, regularly. You need to be working hard to make sure you complete everything on time. It's doable. I don't think it's overwhelming, but it does require hard work on a regular basis within this 5-week interval. So please be disciplined. Don't skip anything. Proceed through all those items one by one. Be consistent. Devote enough time to this, and I'm sure you'll do fine. So this completes my introduction video to this course. Obviously, I'm not saying goodbye. If you ever have any questions, just post them here. I wish you best of luck with this course. I hope you have a very fun and productive summer session. Again, if you ever need anything, I'm always at your disposal. Please feel free to post your question here or send me an email. So once again, best of luck. I'm sure you will all do fine with this course. So thank you for listening to this introductory video.